Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Mouse. I know it's been a very long time since I've posted to my channel, but I figure today was a good day to start, especially with all the craziness that's going on and the fact that I've had so much time to work on my new garden after my husband and I moved away from our apartment, which was, oh my god, 6 years ago now? So it's been a long time since I've posted. So here we go. Here's my garden in its entirety. It's in the front of our house. I've got a mint bed over there that I just planted some elephant ears behind the mint and our lovely concrete ball. And I built that wall this year too. I'm really proud of myself. Doesn't look the best in the world, but as it ages and the extra mortar sloughs off, I think it'll look amazing and it'll match the house really well. So in front of that, I have some Martian Jewels sweet corn. It looks a little sad. I transplanted it the other day and then we had some really bad wind. I'm hoping it'll perk back up. I've also got some sunflowers here. They are Ruby Eclipse, my French Tarragon, and then this year I did something really cool. I have a whole bunch of pansies that I have planted along the walkway that goes to the front of our house. And in between the pansies, I've planted some of my crops. On this side, it's all chard. I've got some pink chard, I've got red chard, I've got yellow chard. But yeah, all along the walkway. Behind the chard and pansies right here, I have two bell peppers. Blonde Bell, which is a white bell pepper, and a purple wonder. This is cutting celery. So if you've never heard of cutting celery, it's really cool. I like it a lot. It's if celery was an herb, is the best way to describe it. It tastes intensely like celery, but you use it like parsley, so it finishes soups and other items, but with a celery-like flavor, which I really like celery, so I thought it was a cool plant, and this is its second year in the garden, and it's doing pretty well. It's starting to bolt on me a little bit, so I might have to really hack it back some, or maybe get a replacement for it, because it is starting to bolt, and I don't know if that's going to affect it very much. Behind my cutting celery, I have three Velvet Queen sunflowers. I believe they're a red variety. I believe the flower will be red. I've got another Blonde Beauty bell pepper, and then I've got two varieties of carrots this year. This is the second time at this house that I've tried to grow carrots. And this year I have, I can't read that, Freddy's Best, I believe, and then this is a purple variety. I believe it's Purple Rocket, something like that. Then I've got more sunflowers, Solar Eclipse. So they literally look, I think it's orange with like a yellow sunburst, so that'll be interesting. This is a cilantro plant, and then I've got some peas. Everybody needs peas. And then down here, this little tiny guy that's covered in dirt because I just watered, and he's little tiny. There's a dwarf teddy bear sunflower. I had more of them, but when I planted them out here, something ate them. So I have one left, but whatever. In this pot, this is really cool. This is a Southern Belle Bush blueberry plant. I got it at Costco, believe it or not. It was actually a really good price. And that blueberry plant that I got at Costco is doing really well. So I'm excited for that one. Over here I have two strawberry popcorns. I didn't have very good germination rate. They were some old seeds. I think probably back from when we were at the apartment is when I bought them. So that's my fault for waiting so long to get them in the ground. Great here, I've got two great white tomatoes. So obviously we'll have a cage once they get a little bit bigger. This is a sprouting broccoli. I have more sprouting broccoli over on the other side, but there's one I had an extra, so I just plonked it in the middle. Here I have two speckled Roman pole tomatoes. So they're like a paste tomato, but they're speckly, red with yellow speckles. And then in between or in front of all of my tomatoes this year, I've done basil. So I believe this is a Thai basil. No, this is cinnamon basil, and then that one's lemon. You can see it right there. And then here's some more of my pansies and more peas. These pansies in the front have been in the ground longer instead of pulled out of pots, so they're gonna look a lot better. I have an open space right here. I'll show you what I'm going to put there in a minute. Here's my experiment. So here I have another lemon basil. And then you'll see I have two tomatoes that are called Garden Peach. I planted them, I think 2 days ago now. And yesterday they were fine. This morning I come out here and they have absolutely no leaves. So I don't know if I'm going to get any of these. I might have to replace them, but I'm going to leave them. I'm going to let them try to send up new shoots. Maybe they'll survive, maybe they won't. We'll see what happens. And then in between my pansies up here, which I didn't show you guys, I have nasturtiums. 2 varieties, I believe. One of them is called Cherry Rose, and I believe the other one is the Alaska Trailing Mix that I bought. The Cherry Rose I germinated from seed. Over here I have Pineapple Pole, which is another paste tomato, and then another cinnamon basil. Yay, cinnamon basil. Oh God, look at all the strange weeds coming up. I think those are actually a flower of some kind, but I don't want them there. So these right here are zinnias, 3 different colors, purple, green, and a candy cane, which is like a variegated one. And then this row right here is actually echinacea, or purple coneflower. The coneflower is actually going to go right here where the seed tray is, and they're just getting acclimatized. And then the zinnias are going to go in between all of my tomatoes and hopefully make it look really, really pretty. On the other side of the walkway, I've got more pansies and more nasturtiums lining the front walk, just like the other side. And this one I have an Uncle Wayne tomato. So this tomato has a really cool story behind it. It is a variety of tomato that a friend of ours, actually our old landlord, his late wife's family has been growing this tomato for like 200 years. And on top of that, their family has actually saved this tomato from going extinct like 2 or 3 times. And I believe even my landlord my former landlord has actually saved it one of those times. So these are really, really cool. I'm going to try to make sure that I save some seeds for them. Just because they're a really cool tomato, just because of I know the history, I know what family has saved them. Again, this is a space for zinnias. Right here I have a Lemon Boy salad tomato, and then this is a regular, good old-fashioned Genovese basil. I know it says Cyan Queen. I think I just used an old plant tag. Whatever. Another space for more zinnias, because I want flowers this year, lots of them. This is Cherokee Purple. Everybody knows this variety. It's a dark purple tomato. This is another lime basil, or lemon basil. Lime or lemon? I don't remember which one I did. Whatever. They taste really similar. And then I have one zinnia here that is actually a survival from when I planted my zinnias out at the beginning of March. And this is the only one that survived. So I'm going to make sure that I save seeds from this specific lime green zinnia. So this one's called Lime Green Queen. The other green ones that I have are Green with Envy. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully I can actually get some seeds from that one, because if it survived like a couple frosts, then that's a good one to save, because zinnias don't normally like frost very much. Here's another cinnamon basil, and then these are beefsteak tomatoes. So this one is store-bought, which looks really, really pretty. I trimmed it down, tried to pull out all the suckers, and planted it nice and deep. This one in the back is, I grew this one from seeds that didn't do so well. I only had like 2 germinate, and one of them died right after it germinated. And then this one, as I was planting it, it broke in half. So I sprinkled some rooting powder around it and on the stem, and I stuck it in there, and it's limping along, but again, it's only been in the ground for like 2 days. And then over here I have a sunflower, Miss Mars. This is a short variety. I believe all the ones that are around the trellis are going to be shorter so that you can still get sunlight to everything else. Behind Miss Mars, in this other purple pot, is a blueberry bush that I bought this year that's not doing so well. So all of my blueberry bushes, when I put them in, because they're all patio varieties, I watered them in really, really well. But for some reason, this one, it just had a massive dieback. So I'm going to let it go. I'm going to keep watering it just like I water the other one. I'm going to try to limp it along and see what it does for me for next year. I'm not going to get anything from it because, I mean, those are all the blossoms. A lot of the leaves are like that too. It does have green in it. All of the stems are nice and green. It does have a few green leaves, so maybe it'll work. We'll see. In front of, or next to that, I have a Dwarf Incredible. This is about a 3-foot tall sunflower. We'll see how it does. And more cilantro, because yum, cilantro. More pansies, but on this side, in between the pansies, I have purple sprouting broccoli. I've never had any luck actually getting broccoli to grow, so This year I decided to do a purple sprouting variety. Hopefully it will work a little bit better. Behind my sprouting broccoli, I have eggplants. I started an Asian trio mix, and I tried to do the same look of seeds per seed pot, and then the plants came up, and all three of them are very, very different. So I've got one variety here, one variety here, and then one variety behind this celeriac behind my lovely lantern. And we'll see if I actually get 3 different kinds of eggplants. Who knows, I may not. So behind the eggplants and going along the backside of that entire row, I have more brassicas, because we like brassicas. They store really well, especially the greens. I have collard greens, which are the lighter green ones, and then I have 2 kale purple moons, which are purple veined kale plants with a slightly ruffly but pretty flat leaf, which are delicious. We've had those before and they're really, really nice. We like them a lot with bacon, onions, and navy beans. Delicious. This collard is a lot shorter than all the others because I came out the other day and it was dead, like completely withered, dead as the doornail. All the others looked fine and it was dead, so I replanted it because I had an extra one that I hadn't had space for. This one had a little bit of cabbage worm damage, so I sprinkled everything with diatomaceous earth, which is why you'll see some white powder on some of the things. It has been very windy, so most of it's blown off, but it seems to have nipped it in the bud because I haven't lost any more leafage, thankfully, because it was bad. It was very, very bad. And it's really early too for cabbage moths, so I was really disheartened by that one. Here's my other eggplant next to my lantern. And then this is a celeriac. It is also going to seed, but it's a year old. It's the only one that survived into this year, but the root on it is tiny, so I'm not harvesting it yet. I'm just gonna let it seed and see what it does. Hopefully it'll just keep growing, but we'll see. I've got a space here, which I'm excited for. And then back here I have curly parsley and flat parsley. I also have lemon thyme, which I haven't had thyme in a couple years because I don't buy it every year, because you plant it once and you keep it for like 3 or 4 years and then you pull it out and kill it because it's gotten all woody and gross. Hopefully that one will stay a little bit better. In this bed, which is the bed right in front of my kitchen window, I have a lavender plant. I have a brand new sage. This is pineapple sage. This, believe it or not, is the exact same sage plant that I've had since I started this channel. So this plant is 7 years old. It is massive. I've moved it probably 5 times. It's absolutely huge. We have some fairy garden stuff that I haven't done yet this year. I may not do. They may just live there. And then behind that is my massive rosemary plant. I believe that's actually from last year. It might be from 2 years ago, which is odd for this area. Sometimes the rosemary survives, sometimes it doesn't. And then behind it, I have 4 American Giant. Where's the plant tag? Let me grab the plant tag because I think it's American Giant. Yeah, American Giant hybrid sunflowers. So these sunflowers are supposed to get even bigger than Russian mammoths. So these should be 15 to 16 feet tall, which will be awesome because it'll give some shade into my kitchen, because my kitchen is right there and it gets really hot in the summer. So I have some potting soil. We have a composter that my grandmother-in-law got us. All my amendments, garden stakes, tools, all that junk. But my sitting area in the window right here, in the window box, I found finally, which I'm excited for, a succulent called ice plant. It is an edible succulent. It was used back in maritime, so when people were still using the high seas to do all of their intercontinental travel, it was used as a vitamin C supplement, so it kept scurvy away, and it just grew in the bilges of the ships. If they had any kind of like cracks and stuff, it would just grow in the bilge rocks. So apparently it's actually all over Southern California, because when they would dump their bilge to clean the ship and get rid of vermin and all that junk, they would just dump everything and the succulents would just keep growing, and they love California, but they are hardy in this area. So hopefully we will get some they'll grow pretty well and they'll survive in these window boxes, because they are succulent, so I don't have to worry about them being dry. But yeah. Oh, and then I didn't tell you guys about the pots. I should go back over there. So I have some more seedlings over here. These are all extras. They're going to go to friends and family or just the neighbors, because it's COVID. No one can really travel all that much. In the 5 pots that you're going to see right here that have leafage that you can actually see, this is all garlic chives. So Chinese garlic chives. They're delicious. They taste just like garlic. We use them a lot. And they just look really pretty, especially when they're getting all full and green and bushy like this. Sorry, that was a text. Then in these other pots that the greens haven't come up yet, I have 8 pots. Maybe I'll have 12. I haven't decided whether I'm going to go get some more pots or not. And these are all Huckleberry Gold purple skinned potatoes. I do potatoes in pots. It's a lot easier to harvest them that way. You just dump the pot out and run your hands through the soil instead of having to till them all up. I did them in the beds last year, and this year when I was prepping the beds, I found potatoes. And you know you're not supposed to overwinter them, so I was just like, crap. So they all went in the composter, and hopefully they'll die. So I have 5 hanging baskets now. They all have the exact same thing in them. This is a Proven Winners Diamond Frost Euphorbia. Hopefully it'll get about that big. Yeah, about that big. And it'll give me some nice white spillage, white plume of color. And then these are not Proven Winners. I tried to find Proven Winners petunias, but they're really hard to get in our area for some reason. Or at least in the colors that I like, they're hard to get. So I've got a yellow one, which is a yellow margin and a nice dark yellow throat. A hot purple one. And then if it was Proven Winners, this would be called Royal Velvet. As you can see, it's a dark purple, and it does look like velvet. But I have 5 hanging baskets. They're all exactly the same. They'll have the same plants in them. And we'll see how they do this year. But yeah, guys, thanks a lot for coming along. I know it's been forever since I updated. But that's my garden this year. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks. Bye.